This is the part 2 of the project. You will see how the complete PCB is assembled. And a complete unit of the headphone amplifier is built. Let us dive into it now. This is the PCB for the complete headphone amplifier including the DC servo. It requires a dual 24 volts DC regulated power supply. You can download free PCB Gerber files in the following website. Both headphone amplifier and DC regulated power supply PCBs are available there. The link to the website is given in the video description below. Here is the fully assembled headphone amplifier. If you follow the suggested steps in the following, your assembly work is going to be very smooth. This PCB is good for both JFET and BJT input stage. However, not all JFET and BJT are suitable. We have selected these two pairs of complementary transistors. They both give excellent performance. These two types of transistors have identical leg orientation, such that collector of the BJT is in the position of the drain of the JFET. Similarly, it is also true for the orientations of the other two legs. Transistors Q3 to Q6 must be either JFET or BJT. It is up to your personal preference. However, they cannot be mixed. Please also note that the compensation capacitors are different for these two versions. Therefore, suggest you download the PDF construction manual from the website. The manual also gives the complete bill of materials for all electronic components to be used in each version. Step 1. When we start assembling the PCB, let us work with one channel only. Given with the experience gained from the first channel, you will find the assembly work for the second channel to be much easier. Let's say, we assemble the right channel first. And we start with the input stage. After the assembly work of the input stage is completed, we measure the DC potentials at the point circled in red. You should be able to get similar DC potentials. If any DC potential is different by more than 20%, double-check whether some of the components are incorrectly used. At this point, you should already have a copy of the PDF construction manual. Otherwise, suggest to download one from the website. Step 2. After the input stage is completed and test positive, then move on to the second stage voltage amplifier. By cascading the input stage to the second stage, this becomes a composite amplifier producing a massive gain. The DC quiescent condition of the second stage will become unstable. Therefore, we connect a temporary feedback path as shown in the schematic. Now measure the DC potentials in the points as shown in the red circles. You should get similar results. If any result is different by more than 20%, you need to double-check to see if any incorrect components are used. Step 3. After the composite amplifier, input stage plus second stage, is completed. Now assemble the output stage and the rest of that channel. If the amplifier is assembled correctly, the DC servo must be working now. Therefore, the output DC offset should be less than 10 mV. Adjust variable resistor R27, so that there is a DC 0.35 volt across resistor R31, and R32 separately. Step 4. If the first channel is competed and tested positive, then the assembly work for the other channel follows in a similar fashion. After both channels are completed, the potentiometer is the last component to be installed as shown in the diagram. Step 5. If you have an oscilloscope and a signal generator, feed a signal to the amplifier and observe the outputs from both channels. Test the amplifier with a 1 kHz, 10 kHz, and 100 kHz square wave. See if you get similar output waveforms. Check the voltage gain for both channels if they are 7.7. After this is done, the assembly of the PCB is now completed. To build a standalone unit of headphone amplifier, we need to have a chassis. You can pick any chassis you like. Here is the chassis that we use to house the amplifier. In the front panel, there is a headphone socket, a volume control knob, and a power switch. In the rear panel, there is a pair of RCA sockets for input, a second pair for output. There is also an AC main power socket. This chassis design is simple, but it will do the work just fine. Let us summarize what you need to build a standalone headphone amplifier, plus a line stage amplifier. You need a chassis of your choice, a power transformer, and a dual 24 volts low noise DC regulated power supply. You can download the PCB Gerber files from the website and produce the PCB. Let us put all these together. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, and are enjoying these kinds of videos, then please think about clicking the subscriber button below, so I can continue to make these videos for you. I will see you in the next one.